Welcome to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining with us. I have Patricia Baronowski, Pristine Advisors with me today. Patricia, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. Being a one-stop shop as opposed to hiring several different companies, that's what you do. Talk to me about that.
I actually started right out of high school, actually. I was working with an agency that, we did IR and we also did PR, but we worked with some clients that had an IR department, and then they also had another PR company working with them, and then they also had a social media and marketing company working with them. And we found that things got lost in translation. In essence, we were all pitching totally different stories and nobody communicated with each other. So it was making it really, really hard to conduct a good program. So, through the years, I worked at one company for 16 years, and then I wound up going to another company, and all of my clients had followed me there. I stayed there for 6 years before starting Pristine, and every one of my clients followed me again. But I think it's because, one, we're saving them a ton of money by just hiring one company. But also it's because there's nothing lost in translation. We know the companies inside and out, and we do all of it. We do IR, PR, media relations, marketing, social media. And what we did is we found things that there was a need for. So say, for example, conferences. We had companies that wanted to present, their story, and we would go to conferences and, we'd have a badge scanner and we'd have, hundreds and hundreds of people come to the booth. And at the end of the day, when we would follow up with them, we found that they were only interested in the free giveaway on the table. Like they had no interest in the company whatsoever. Mm-hmm. Same with, so we decided, okay, if clients want to present themselves and there's no venue for them to do that, we'll create one. So we actually created a conference, and we had, we were inviting analysts, media, brokers, investors, and high quality. We did it for the first 6 years. We can't take it all right now. But, there are other conferences who have breakdowns. So, they'll tell you, okay, we had hundreds of thousands of people at this event. Meanwhile, there's 3 in one room, 4 in another room. And you really don't know how many people are there because they're not in each room. So, we always had, a platform, and we said everybody's there to, see the venue that we're presenting, and nobody should be, missing half of it. And also with website design. I mean, not that we want to be all over the place and do all of this, but we found that website, when a client would say have an annual report or a proxy statement or a 10Q, the majority of people who do web design or web updates are tech people. They don't actually understand the product. So when you tell them upload this to the website, they'll just slap it on any old page. And we were spending more time dissecting it and telling them where to put it and where a shareholder would look for it. And it just reached the point where we were like, forget it, let's just do it ourselves. So that's kind of how we became a one-stop shop. It was easier for us to do everything because we understood it all, and it saved us time from having to relay it to an IR, relay it to a PR, relay it to a marketing, relay it to a media, relay it to the tech person. And at the end of the day, like I said, it's beneficial best for the client because they're only paying one company, and we know the whole story inside and out, and it's not getting lost in translation.
I got it. What has 33 years of experience taught you in the industry? What is the top 3 things that really come to mind that most people either miss or do incorrectly?
Well, one thing, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. The first year I was actually in business, we actually were sued by another company who tried to sue me for unfair competition, which was bizarre. They didn't win the case, but it just goes to show you that, you have to keep your head above water. You have to really understand, the business and really understand what your competitors are doing. That being said, the second one is really keeping on top of your game. There's some companies that I know that do the same thing over and over every single year. But you want to keep on top of what the new things are. What are the new rules? What are the new SEC guidelines? What is, even in social media, what's new? What are people using? Back in the day, there were people who, strictly just did Facebook for personal and that was it. And, nowadays between Facebook, LinkedIn, Google, Instagram, even with Google Plus, with all the algorithms to try to get your company noticed on Google, sometimes Google Plus is a great option. But if you don't know that, if you're not keeping on top of everything, so, we attend every conference, every webinar, every webcast, everything to try to learn to keep on top of the game so that we know, what everybody else is doing. And I guess the third really is just, keeping an open line of communication. Like us as an outside agency, it's not really our job to tell our clients what to do, but we make our recommendations on what they should do. So say, for example, in the closed-end fund space, we had some clients who were not doing everything that we felt that they should do. And we were basically told it's not your job to tell the portfolio managers what they should or shouldn't do. So, we're looking at it saying, okay, you're going to be a prime target for an activist campaign at this point. So what we did is we actually gave the activists a floor. We did a webinar and we called all the activists and said, the floor is yours. Just tell everybody, what you feel. And they basically just told everybody what it is that will put you on their radar, what they look for. And that was a very receptive webinar because not that we're on the side of the activists, because we're not. We work with everybody, but we felt that maybe by doing that, people would understand, we've won awards, we've been on television, radio, whatnot. I think we know a little bit about what we're doing. And if we're giving you guidance and you don't want to listen to it, maybe you'll hear from somebody who could potentially take over your fund. So, we've gone through a lot through the 33 years, but those are some of the three top ones.
Those are good points to make. Pristine Advisors is different than anybody else. Give us the disruptive statement that you make to your clients so that and some of the new people that could be watching you from our show, so that they can get an idea of what makes you different.
I guess what makes us different really is that we do it all. We do IR, PR, media relations, marketing, social media, and it's, we work with inside people as well. Like we work with some companies that they don't even know we work with because they're not on our client roster because we work with their insider teams. They might have an internal IR and internal PR, and they'll outsource things to us because they know we have the connections. Also, we have over 800,000, people in our database, which are not purchase lists that we have, but these are people who've attended our webinars, attended our conferences, people who've said, okay, here's what you guys do, and we want to, reach out to, we want to be kept appraised of, specific type of clients, whether it be emerging markets, whether it be, agriculture, whether it be oil, whatever. So we have good contacts, and we know who to put them in front of, and we've been well known in the industry. It's just because we're an agency, and it's kind of tricky because agency people know the clients, but they don't necessarily know who we are because they're one being. And as a marketing company, it's really hard to market yourself when you're so busy marketing your clients. So, ironically, everybody knows my name, but not everybody knows my company name. So, like I said, my main goal is to really promote the clients, and if they have success, then that means something to me. If they have a great media hit, or they have a good, road show, or, whatever the case may be, if their share price goes up, we kind of look for every angle to market them. And like I remember we had one client who was really depressed because their share price was, dropping. It was just a bad economy. And I'm like, okay, but that's a great buying opportunity. Like, you have to learn how to market your story. There's always news someplace, whether the stock price is going up, it's going down, and sometimes, like, even in the media, you have, years ago it was media pitching, media writing about companies, but nowadays it's, longs and shorts who are, trying to move the market in their favor. You can just make up an avatar and call yourself whatever you want. Like, Seeking Out is famous for that. You don't know who these people really are. Sometimes it's your peers that just have a contributor who's writing a story that, makes them look good, but not that it's false news, but they could twist it in a way that kind of makes you look bad. So we're on the ball. We kind of know most of the big media players. We know most of the big shareholders in specific industries. And like I said, we don't just, do bare minimum to catch a paycheck. I mean, we charge really low prices because some of the clients, like I said, they followed me through 3 different companies, I think, because they realize the value that they get for the price that they're paying. And, we really, get personal with the companies. And, some of them I feel like I've grown up with, So I think that's a big thing that sets us apart. And working for another company, it was a very large global company, and companies believe that they're paying, for a whole team of people. Meanwhile, it's really your, intern or your person who's still in college that's learning the ropes on your dime. You believe that it's, the VP, the managing director and whatnot working on your account, but I can tell you personally that that's not how it always works. You might have 7 to 10 people listed as being on an account, but it's really just the low man on the totem pole that's doing all the work, and you're paying a lot of money for it. So for us, every employee that we have has been there at least 10 years experience. And, we take pride in what we do, and I think that's a big thing that sets us apart.
Well said. Now, why are finance and investment companies so scared of social media these days?
Oh, I believe one of the reasons is really Reg FD. We have some clients that, the minute I say Reg FD, that they complete shut you out. They don't want to have anything to do with it. And, this Reg FD has come a long way. And I think for the longest time, the SEC wasn't even sure how to work with Reg FD, so they kind of shied away from it as well. But, they have adopted a lot of new rules. And, basically they can see your your website as a form of public disclosure as long as you give adequate notice, and you include that, and your social media as well. Your Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+, Instagram, your blog post, whatnot. But you have to continuously make it known to everybody that this is where you're going to be posting information. Not that it, excludes sending out a press release or a public filing, but you want to basically post everything on your website anyway. And like say with Twitter, you're limited with how many characters you could post. So you want to put, your company name, your, it's an earnings release, and direct the link back to your website. And then with Instagrams, I mean, if it's say emerging market, doing, an earnings release, you want to put hashtags for that, because whether it be investors or even, the media, they don't have time to weed through thousands and thousands of things all day. So they might have just hashtags that alert them to things that cover that specific topic. So I think what happens is we have clients that just feel, that we're going to go on and, ramble on and on about, hey, this company's great, you should buy them. Or, hey, did you see where that, CEO ate last night? But that's not what we do at all. There should be one specific, corporate account for your Facebook, for your LinkedIn, for your Twitter, for your Google, whatever the case may be, and only have specific people doing that, whether it be your IR person, your CEO. I mean, I don't normally recommend, doing your, having your personal, your personal page, but have a company page. And, there should be training for every employee, and say, okay, here's what you can and can't do. Have them sign contracts, whatever the case may be. But I think usually what they're terrified, I mean, we've just had clients that really are dead set against, any social media. And it's a shame because, I mean, social media is the new wave now. It's the 21st century. I mean, everybody's on iPads, iPhones, tablets, and, they're getting these alerts. And it's just, I mean, instead of just wandering through the forest looking for, a potential customer, they're all online, and you have to be able to reach them. And we don't just do one, we do them all: Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+, Instagram, because some people are, loyal to one and some people are loyal to another. So we want to make sure that we, cover them all. So I think really it's just compliance and them. And like I said, I think the SEC doesn't give them enough attention to it, because I think even they don't know how to keep up with it. But they have made it clear that if you issue a press release and you announce to the world that this is where you're also going to be posting information, and have it as a boilerplate on every press release, have it in all of your reports, have it on your email signature. And don't just say, like, find me on Twitter. Put your handle in, let everybody know exactly where you're going to be and what you're going to be posting, and actually do that, so Yeah.
Let me ask you this, the future of investor targeting, this is a big thing with a lot of people. It's not just in the investment products sector, it's across the board. Give me your take on the future of investor targeting.
Well, targeting became highly efficient on social media. Facebook, for example. I mean, there's multiple algorithms focused on exactly the type of person that would be interested in your product or your services or your investment. Now, with investment companies shying away from social media, it plants the biggest source of leads and deals. Social media, I mean, what does the future hold? Well, it just so happens that they need to not be afraid of social media. And we have the answers. Social media with Pristine Advisors. We've been trained. Each one of us have been trained as a social media strategist. We're fully aware of all the rules and regulations around it. We're definitely not going to put somebody in harm's way. I mean, because we would pretty much fall under the, under the category of, speaking on behalf of the company. We never go on there and post anything. All we do is pretty much regurgitate what's already out there. So if you posted a press release on your website, we'll recirculate that to everybody. If you did your 10K, we recirculate that. If you have a webinar invite, we circulate that. We're never speaking on behalf of you. We would never do that. But I think the future of investor targeting is really social media, because there are so many groups out there on the internet of just investors that are, I'm not talking about your mom and pops, because a lot of them just deal with the brokers. But your brokers are on social media in trading chat rooms and whatnot. So I really think that social media is, the biggest tool, and, we are fully versed in that whole sector.
Yeah, and like the old saying, so don't try this at home, kids.
Yeah.
No, I get the full point of what you're doing. All right, Patricia, thank you so much for being a guest on our show today. I hope to hear more from you in the near future.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
And I hope, if anybody has any information, we're actually doing monthly webinars now. We did one, Insider Secrets That Marketing People Don't Want You to Know. And actually, the next webinar we're going to be doing is on Reg FD. And we're basically giving you free tidbits on, ways to enhance your marketing program. So, our website is, www.pristineadvisors.com, and that's advisors with an ERS. And, check out our monthly webinar. And, look forward to seeing everybody.
Will do. Thanks, Patricia.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Take care.
You've been
Bye.
watching CEO Money with Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining with us. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.